I'm gonna be breaking down how I made 2.5k on euro dollar. Let's go into it. So let's start out with the Funding Pips website, because this was on my 50k funded account from Funding Pips. As you can see, this is the master account. The next payout is 16th of October. Today is 11th of October, excuse me. So in 5 days, I'm expecting a 1.5k payout. Why? Balance is 1.8k. Almost 4%, because I took some losses, as you can see, but this was the day when I was able to make 2.5k on EU Sells. So let's break that down. So guys, as I said, the trade was EU Sells, and how I was able to catch this setup on EU. So the first thing what I'm looking for when I'm analyzing the chart is direction, and I'm identifying direction based on H4 and based on daily time frame. That's the first thing. So this trade I was analyzing H4, and how am I identifying that direction is based on market structure. So as you can see, market structure was clearly trending up. Market was creating series of higher lows and higher highs. Higher high, higher low. This was a lower high, and here price created a lower low when price broke under this level of structure, as you can see, resulting a new lower low, which means we shifted from uptrend to downtrend. So also what I like to do, I like to mark out my swing high and swing low. I'm gonna type it for you guys: swing high and swing low. Now, what I also like to use, and what I used in this case, I like to see price to pull back at least 38.20 for me to be valid enough pullback. So I like to use fibs from swing high to swing low in a downtrend, from swing low to swing high in an uptrend. We are in a downtrend, so swing low to swing high, and I saw price pull back around 61.8%. So let's highlight this level, and at this point I use this 61.8 as my key level. And that's the second thing what I use when I'm analyzing the chart. What I'm looking for is a key level. So key level is some type of a previous structure point, key level, daily or H4 or fib level. Okay, so these are the type of key levels: either previous market structure point, which was here but price broke under, or some type of a resistance from the past, which this kind of works, or Fibonacci level. So in this case I use this Fibonacci level, and as you can see, price stopped there and started to range. And that brings me to my third point, which is the most important point for me to be able to take a trade, because as you can see, price got two phases. Price got push phase and price got pullback phase. At this point, the main phase, the push phase, was downtrend. But what price is gonna do when price is gonna pull back? Price is gonna create a counter trend on the lower time frames, such as H1, M30, M15, which means the trend on these time frames is gonna be bullish. And for me to be able to take a trade, I need to see that lower time frame structure shift to that main direction. So we know the main direction is bearish, right? LTF shift. I know the main direction is bearish, but if I zoom on M30, as you can see, this pullback phase was creating series of higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. And what I need to see is a break of structure on these lower time frames for me to be able to take a trade, which happens right here. As you can see, price broke under this higher low point, resulting a new lower low, under this lower high point, resulting a new lower low. So at that point, I have all my confluences what I needed. Once I get this lower time frame structure shift, I set my sell limit on this previous market structure right here. My stop loss went here, and my TP went to this level right here, which was around 3R. So now, what I did as well, I target this, and this was my position. But if you zoomed on M30, what I like to do and how I like to maximize my profits is by scaling in. And as you can see, price was still respecting this downward market structure, okay, lower high, then price broke structure, made a lower low, broke this, and when this happened, what I did, this stop loss went from here, from 50 pips to 35 pips, right here, above this recent lower high point. Because I know if price is gonna break this recent lower high point, price is gonna most likely continue to be bullish and it's gonna flip way higher. So from 50 it went to 36, which allowed me to risk another 14 pips on this break and retest of this previous structure point with the same stop loss and with the same TP. Keep in mind, I'm still risking 1%, but since I was able to reduce the size of this stop loss, I'm able to scale in these 14 pips, which in this case it was around 0.3, 0.4%, okay? So then price pulled back. I almost got stopped out on NFP, but thankfully I didn't. And when price broke under here, what I did, I placed all my stop losses right here. And when price blew under this low, I'm gonna show you guys the screens of all my positions, but when price blew under this low, I decided to add another scale in with the same stop loss and with the same TP. So that's how I was able to maximize my profits on this one move. Because this stop loss went from original 50 to 25, let's call it. This stop loss was cut in half. This stop loss went from original 50 to 37. It was cut as well. So I was able to risk another 0.3, 0.4% on another scaling position with all my stop losses being here. All my stop losses being valid because I'm still playing this downward market structure and I'm still placing my stop losses above the recent lower high points. And from that point, price went down, pulled back, and when price blew this through this swing low, I placed my stop losses somewhere around here, which was around break even. And from that point, price just melted and hit our TP. To be honest, I didn't close at my final TP. I closed the trade right here before we eventually blew to the TP. But since we almost did the TP here, and then the next day price was again ranging around this point, I was like, fuck it. I'm up 5R with all these scale-ins because I was risking $500 in total, and I closed the trade 2.5k, 2.4k, so it's 5R. So I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna close the trade right here. And eventually we hit our TP, so I lost like $500, which is completely okay. But you get the point, guys. How I was able to catch this move and how I was able to stay calm through all of this noise, however you call it, because the market structure is king. You see, let me remove everything, but you see from this point when price broke structure to the downside, price was only creating lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower highs. So we are in a clear downtrend. There was no reason for me to close the trade. And that was only because of me understanding market structure. Market structure is king. So let's recap it, guys. Direction for the main trend, you need to know where you're at the chart. Direction H4 daily. Then key level, again H4 daily, and it is previous structure point, Fips or support resistance level. And then the third thing, lower time frame structure shift. Because if I didn't get this lower time frame structure shift, as I said, price can pull back even 100% here and then still be bearish. But you need to wait. The lower time frame structure shift, let's call it, this is the swing high, this is the swing low. Okay, and the lower time frame structure shift, it can happen here to go down, it can happen here, which happened here on you, and it can happen here. That's why you need to wait for that lower time frame structure shift to happen, because Once the lower time frame structure shift is gonna happen based on H1M30, because your main trend is H4N daily, which is down. You know, right now you got daily H4, H1M30, all time frame is in sync, so the probability of you winning a trade, selling the market is way higher than buying the market, okay? So guys, if you understand market structure, you will be able to make money consistently from the markets. The price is king, the market structure is king. The last thing what I would like to mention, guys, is I just created today my new Discord trading community, completely free. I'm gonna be sending market analysis, market signals, so you can take exact same trades as me. I'm gonna be sending market breakdowns. You can chat with other people. We already have, or I already have around 30 people here, which is amazing. And you can learn basically for free. I'm gonna be sending breakdowns, analysis, and signals. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. The link for the Discord is gonna be down in the description, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.